Down the game in the red, starting to the left side of the map, we have on dual side the Complexity player. Yes.
Complexity GanZI.
He lost on Daybreak, and now we have him with a quick shot in his booth. A lot of confidence before the game. Now he's down a map and has to be a little bit careful what he does on dual side. If he loses this game, and then it's over for him. Polt, on the other hand, starting to the right side of the map in the blue color, our TSL player.
TSL Polt.
TSL Polt with a very nice performance on Daybreak.
Yeah, I mean, his multitasking just outshined GanZI's a little bit there. He was more active on the map with his Marines. GanZI, though, had a strong opening. He was behind in upgrades. That's something that when both players go Marine Tank, the upgrades are potentially the most important thing. They're basically three parts of the triangle in Marine Tank versus Marine Tank. There's your Marine count, your tank count, and your upgrades. I mean, those are just obviously the three things. And then, like, in the center of the triangle, where they all convene, is how you micro and your engagements.
Yep.
That's all it comes down to in that matchup.
Of course, a lot about the vision as well. Do you have to use scans? Do you have the air superiority? And can you use your Vikings? What exactly do you have to put off? And, well...
The sheep can't come out, man. He's now... GanZI's like, I got a new pet, and I will deny scouting with this little Spidey bow.
The sheep Terran.
I'm sure he grinned sheepishly as he saw that he got the sheep inside.
Gun grinning? Nah, I don't think I've ever seen him smile.
I have, man. We had this discussion before. Remember, I introduced him to a girl at Vegas, and he smiled. It was the only time I'd seen him smile. It was the first time. Normally, he's very serious. He has a very serious note about him. He's not like he's not like the type of guy who's just like not funny or not happy. He just like when he's around the studio, he's very focused on his match. It's what he's thinking about. You know, you can tell that he's very focused on what he's up against. We do see a command center going down here for Polt on the high ground,
as well as for GanZI.
Polt consistently does this, where he does not scout and makes his command center on the high ground.
Well, GanZI is now getting it on the low ground, so he will have a slight advantage in the early game because he's a bit faster with his mining. No biggie though. Polt with double gas, following it up. Let's see what GanZI is going to do. Will he add two refineries, or will he start with production buildings? Delay his tech a bit.
I think we will see the double gas from GanZI. He is moving out on the map now with two Marines to pressure Polt.
There's the barracks, the second one, and the third. Yep, he's going for the production buildings. He waits with his tech.
And sacrificing an SCV here. Nice micro by Polt, though. His Warcraft 3 is showing, but both of these Marines do survive with 3 hit points each. And Polt took a bad situation, made it better, but the Marines do survive. This is a very unique build. This is the build that I misinterpreted in Polt last game, where you do power up 2 additional barracks after you make your command center. It's, again, going to run into some of the same problems that the build we saw last game does, that you do not have stim, you do not have Vikings. However, because Polt's going for a command center build, he'll be fine. He's making a tech lab on his barracks now. He's got a factory on the way, and he's not going to be going right up to Banshees. Even if he does, the timing is not quick enough to where it's really going to hurt GanZI.
No, it won't be. But at this point, as you already mentioned, we talked a little bit about it on dual side. You have such small push distance. You can go for a lot of strategies. You can go for tank push. You can just siege up on the low ground, try to put a bit of pressure onto the main base of your opponent, as well as the expansion. Drop play is also possible. And quite often, because the map is so small, we have a lot of sensor towers, so that you have a very, very good awareness of when exactly your opponent is trying to approach you. So this is definitely something that we are going to see later on.
You're right. Now notice on the production tab, we do see stim from Polt and combat shields from GanZI, a divergence in what choices they've made with their tech so far. And Polt is just now getting a glimpse of these barracks. However, as far as I know, yeah, he hasn't seen the command center, so he can't assume that it's there. He is going to go ahead and move his command center down, but not only did his opponent make his command center on the low ground first, but Polt kept his on the high ground for a really, really long time, so he did lose quite a bit of mining. He's going, GanZI rather, is going double eBay right now, so he's going to... I mean, the upgrades really turned the tide for Polt last game.
In the last game, exactly, and he's basically like, okay, this is not going to happen again.
Yeah. Does not want that to happen. The stim will finish a little bit after combat shields for Polt. probably not going to try to utilize the timing with that.
Him getting these upgrades are also, it does also mean that he will get medivacs and tanks a little bit later. He invests a lot of gas into his upgrades at this point. This will increase the power of his bio army, but it will just slow his tech down a little bit. Also the double reactor that we see right now. And he finally starts with a factory, but as you can see in the production tab, Polt already has the first tech in production, or already has the first tech on the map, that is, and he has medivacs as well.
Yeah, he's going to be significantly ahead in tech. Basically what the difference in these two builds are right now is that GanZI is really looking towards the later stages. Polt's thinking about the now first, and he's going to eventually go towards the later stages, but he's like, I want stem really fast. I want to be able to have a mobile marine army. I want to be able to attack my opponent early on and potentially defend against a push that he might be sending at me because I haven't scouted very much. What is he going to send at me? I just don't know.
Oh my god!
If he had gotten Stimulus combat shields, that would have been a different story.
This was really lucky for Polt. If he wouldn't have realized what was happening, he could have lost the entire job here.
A little bit of a scout coming out from GanZI. GanZI is sending a group of Marines. He wants to find that medevac, but again, without stem, he won't be able to catch it. He does see it, however, with the watchtower, and Polt sees what's coming as well, though.
It's kind of nice that we currently have the armory with the perfect timing for GanZI to start with +2/+2 immediately. He wants to make sure that this time he's the one who has the upgrade advantage in this game.
Yeah, and since Polt did not put any aggression on to GanZI, GanZI is going to take a pretty significant lead as a result with these superior upgrades. Because even though the tank count is important, the upgrade advantage is going to be so much more so, especially with this many Marines coming out on the map. Right now, GanZI is actually producing 4 Marines at a time off of 2 reactor barracks. He's going to be making a 5th one as soon as he can from his barracks as well. This is a very similar game to what we saw last game, just that GanZI is getting his later tanks, his faster upgrades, and we may see a situation like we saw last game where Polt's like keeping a siege tank lead, gets ahead in some ways, but GanZI's upgrades win him the day in the end. That may occur yet again.
GanZI missed a few seconds here before he started his +2/+2, but both of those upgrades are currently queued up, so he's researching the next round. While he will have this upgrade advantage that you've been talking about, he will definitely be able to rely on these Marines and on this advantage, and he's just trying to get it into position, maybe catch a few units off guard. He's everywhere with his Marines, just roaming the map. And let's see if he's actually able to do some damage here. Siege tanks in the main base of Polt will help him a lot if there's going to be a bit of a drop play. But at this point, GanZI is not attempting anything like it.
Yeah, it looks like he's just got his Marines set up to catch potential drops coming out.
Yep.
And also to attack potential third base as well. I love that what GanZI has done both games is he has superior map vision. Look at the map. He has both watchtowers. He has units from left to right in a line across the map. Nothing will escape his vision. Polt cannot sneak any drops by, cannot get by him in any way. He's got perfect 100% map control right now.
Oh, he actually catches a few Marines here. That's not only a few Marines, that was basically the small scouting force that he sent ahead, but he is moving out with a huge army, has 2 siege tanks. How many siege tanks was that? 4? Yeah, 5 in total with them. Oh, and the Marines are moving in at the expansion. There are a lot of them. Take down the Marines. He's not really focusing on the economy, and with the bunker in position, that's just no way. But at least he forces Polt back.
Yeah, he's got to do these little things to continue to keep his presence on the map strong, because when you spread your units out this much, obviously a big army is going to shut you down in some ways, but if you have these little small armies, you're going to make that big army turn around.
We also have the third base now for GanZI. There's a double drop going on at the right side of the map, but he's trying to expand. He's getting another command center as Polt is getting his planetary up again. So he's relying on a planetary as he did on Daybreak.
What's your opinion on the planetaries? I actually don't like them because a good player will always be able to attack behind the mineral line, and you can't lift, you lose mules. I just don't think planetaries are good in this matchup.
At this particular position, I actually like it because the third base on dual side is just a far bit ahead from your naturals, so I really like it on dual side. I didn't really agree with his orbit, with his command center on Daybreak at the bottom right. That's something where I thought that GanZI definitely had a bit of an advantage because he had the orbital. In the middle of the map, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, a huge drop by GanZI in the main is going to tear through these SCVs. Polt does not have enough units to defend yet. You're actually going to have to siege up a tank in order to kill this. He does lose an eBay as well.
At the same time, we have a drop by Polt in the main base of GanZI, but the complexity player is already sieging up here. And Polt is, GanZI is still going strong in Polt's main base. He still has a lot of units here doing damage.
Yep, he's finally cleaned up. He's going to lose one of his medevacs, but this positioning here for Polt is just not, it's not going to cut it.
And he doesn't have Volt positioning. The units are baited into the siege tank range and all of them die. GanZI is now far ahead. He did a lot of damage in Polt's main base. At the same time, he was able to take down most of the forces that Polt used to put aggression onto him. And yeah, I don't like the position the Polt is in, not a bit.
No, nor do I. He's behind in Marines, he's behind in siege tanks, or rather he's ahead in siege tanks, only slightly, but really behind in SCVs.
The Marine, the SCV count is now 60 against 38, and here comes GanZI moving in.
Not the best engagement, but
Polt agree with this, but Polt is once again baited into the siege tank range.
Yeah, he's got to be more careful about that. And look at this attack by Polt. He's going to attack the planetary. Both players preferring to choose this planetary style. And I agree with you, because the third base is far away on this map, getting the planetary is okay because your opponent just might rush in and try to target it down. But if you go for the SCVs, you should be okay in killing them. But if you actually want to kill the planetary, you're not going to get it. No matter what, it's just not going to happen with this type of composition. Polt is potentially going to continue to elevate her units into the main. He's moving a lot more forces up. Oh, he's on siege now. Will GanZI catch him? No.
Trying to get into position here once again. The medivacs just hovering on top of things in order to give the sight to the siege tanks to increase their range. The siege tank count is dead even at this point, and here comes the drop play that you were referring to. Polt dropping into the main base as GanZI is moving out, and the upgrades are still in favor of GanZI. Here they're taking down the tank here, doing some damage, but GanZI is playing this smart. He's not attacking to the siege tank range of the Polt.
Yeah, he's just being very safe, very confident, comfortable here. He's not going to overextend himself for that siege tank fire, which is exactly what Polt is attempting to do. This is really huge. This is so smart by GanZI, sending a huge force over here. And Polt has no tanks. You're exactly right. He's got better upgrades on these Marines, and Polt's going to have to GG here.
Yeah, this is just too much. 160 supply against 96. The tank died. He's moving in, taking down the factory. And the add-ons, supply depots, they fall. That's just too much. 21 harvesters left against 64. GanZI in an amazing position now, clearing the natural, taking down every single building.
Yeah, Polt is trying his best to make something happen in the name, but there are still defensive siege tanks in position. Polt has half the supply of GanZI. It looks like GanZI's going to go home with that force and sandwich Polt's last army, and then just go for a big counterattack and end the game. Notice that he's moving that force back around the left side of Polt to try to trap him here, and he does not do it early enough, so it looks like Polt will escape, but even if he does, he's going to lose a lot of units as a result. And here comes the sandwich.
Yeah, he lost his Marines, and now he has to run away. He's actually sieging up. Yeah, this army is going to die. Polt is going to GG. There it is. And therefore, we will see a third game between GanZI and Polt.
Yeah, well played by GanZI. Definitely getting the faster upgrades. Polt had an advantage in tech, and that, like you said, he had the faster siege mode upgrade, he had the faster medevacs, but he did not attack, so GanZI, as a result, got further and further ahead in upgrades.
It was just a very nice decision-making by GanZI. He dropped with he had a very, very nice drop at the same time. He was able to defend against Polt's aggression. So very, very well played here, and the decision-making just made all the difference. Cloud Kingdom is going to be map number 3.
Yep. This, I could not actually hope for a better map to have the third game on. I actually love TVT. I cast with Doe a lot, and he would always talk about how Marine Tank was his least favorite matchup to cast because there's always Marines running into siege tanks that they don't know about, or by mistake, like you said, no hold position, for example. But I love that, man. It's so stressful. There's so much tension on the map. Vision is important. You're running these huge, powerful groups of armies. Everyone jokes about how powerful Marines are. Let's be honest, they're the highest DPS unit in the game. They're so powerful, and because you have these two Marine armies fighting each other, it's like watching, I don't know, it's just so extreme. It's the most extreme form of StarCraft. You have these huge units that counter Marines as well, the siege tanks, but they're very immobile. It's all about positioning, it's all about map awareness. Two huge mobile armies, but at the same time they have a lot of siege power. It's awesome. I love watching this matchup.
I'm a little bit torn when it comes down to TBT. There are just amazing TBT matches. Sometimes it's the best mirror match to watch. It's certainly the most intense mirror match to play, in my opinion. And, well, the most nerve-wracking mirror match, that is. But sometimes when both players are just really, really passive, it can be a bit frustrating. But these games, they are great. And we already have both of them in the map, so in the match, the game, we will head on to Cloud Kingdom with Polt against GanZI, map number 3.